One of the great things about photography is that it takes you places. You say, I want to go to this place and I want to take this picture. And sure, you go there, you get up real early in the morning and you get to the spot where you think you want to take the picture and you take the picture. When you're actually standing there in the morning, it's cold, the smell, the wind, and you feel something when the light starts to hit alongside the mountains and on the vegetation, you want to not just convey what that looks like, but what it feels like. But then you look up from the camera and you actually experience this great moment out in nature. And you're listening to the sounds around you and you're actually experiencing it. So it's not just about taking the picture, it's also about being there and experiencing it. My name is Dave Soldano and I'm a photographer. I live in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I'm a Colorado Springs native. If you do it right, if you really create an impactful image, still photography becomes magical when the viewer can picture themselves in that scene and it invokes some type of an emotion. My goal is always a sense of awe, wonder, beauty. To take a two-dimensional image and make somebody actually feel something, that is magical. And if you can do it right, that's something special. Very, very rarely was what I'm thinking about going out the door turn out to be what I capture. So mostly I just want to put myself in a place that I think I'm going to be able to find a beautiful scene. And so I get there, I watch the light, and then I scramble a lot of times to find the magic place or the magic shot. Sometimes people, I think, kind of laugh at me because I'm running, jumping around, moving and trying to find the exact composition, but it's what I enjoy it. One of my favorite pictures and a story that goes along with it is a shot I call Autumn Shadows. And it was a surprise to me. Basically, I was at this scummy pond at the top of a mountain in fall. And the shot I thought I was going to get, what I was waiting to get, was there was this hawk on a branch. And he was watching these little field mice across the pond. And I just thought he was going to fly across this pond and get those field mice, and I was going to get this National Geographic picture, you know, da, 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 da. And he just never, ever flew. He just watched him and watched him and watched him. And suddenly the sun came up and burst over to the top of a hill and just shot all these shadows of the aspens across the pond. I changed my settings real fast and took that shot, and when I looked at it on the back of the camera, I knew it was great. I mean, it's a sense of joy. It really is. Like something's really good has just happened. You've created something really, really good. And then I'm running all over trying to find my wife to show her the back of this camera. I love to take pictures of the Milky Way and night pictures. It's probably one of the more fun things I do. But it probably involves more planning and technical knowledge than anything else I do. Camera sensors are way more capable than your eye when it comes to really bringing the colors and definition out in the Milky Way. It's pretty fun when you take that 30-second exposure and then see the Milky Way appear on the back of your camera. It's really beautiful. Light painting is a wonderful way to add another element to night sky photography. A lot of times the proper exposure for the sky is not going to be the proper exposure for whatever you have in your foreground. So we use these great little lights to paint, like a paintbrush, the items that are in our foreground. And you can't really see it as you're doing it, but once you're done with your exposure and you see it on the back of your camera, it's kind of magic. It's really neat, and it's a fun aspect to night photography. One of the things I like to do a lot is add a human element into a picture. Again, it's just about bringing the viewer into the picture and making him feel like he was actually there. And adding a person into the shot just takes it to that next little level, but it's difficult to do without it looking like a snapshot. And honestly, I'll approach strangers and ask them, hey, would you like to be in a shot like this, and tell them about it. 99% of the time they say yes. I actually carry around a little model release that I'll sign and send them a picture. But it definitely adds a cool element to any picture when you put a person in there and do it right. Probably one of my most popular images involves taking a picture of the Moore Barn in Steamboat Springs after just a giant snowfall the night before. And it's kind of funny because a lot of times I'll be able to drag my wife out of bed to go with me, but this morning she had absolutely no interest. I mean, there was some outrageous, like 30 inches of snow fell that night. It was crazy. And so I forgot my snowshoes, and I'm walking up to the Moore Barn, and I'm having to crawl around in the snow to actually get to the place where I wanted to take my picture. And I finally get to my shot. I got my tripod all set up, and I think I've got the shot I want, and suddenly I sink down about another foot. And I bring the camera down to now where I am, and the snow's up to about here, and there's the perfect shot. The sun comes out just a few seconds later, and I got probably one of the most popular shots I ever took, and the snow composed it more than I did. Photography gear is fun. It's fun to buy it, it's fun to talk about it, it's fun to upgrade. But rather than counting on your gear to create the great pictures, I would say once you've bought your gear, commit to it and learn it. Learn your menu systems, learn your function systems, learn them so well that when different scenes present themselves to you, you know how to capture them properly, and you know how to capture them creatively. Because if you're just buying gear and hoping that the gear is going to create better shots, then you're probably wasting your money. There's a lot of good cameras out there. I mean, inexpensive ones, really expensive ones. Cell phone cameras are getting better and better all the time. You commit to it and learn it, you can take a great picture with just about anything. I highly recommend photography for anyone who's looking for some type of fun hobby in their life. It's easy to become passionate about, and there's always something new to learn. And for me, if you're still learning, then you still feel young. And it really does make you feel young at heart when you go out there, take a picture, and bring something like that.